What is up, guys? Today we'll be unboxing, doing my first impressions of the Moto G9 Plus. This is the 4 gig 128 gig model, and it's gonna cost you around 300 bucks. Just go over the box. The standard Motorola box here, 64 megapixel camera system plus night vision. We did get this, I guess it's like a brown or beige color, and it says right here days of battery life plus turbo power charging, all that stuff. We'll get into all the specs and stuff. Let's go ahead, get this off. I've always been really impressed with Motorola's budget phones this year. Let's see what we got in here. If I can get it out. Here we go. The phone with the case already installed on it, so you have your clear coat case on it, which is always nice to see in a budget phone. Got some paperwork, SIM tray or SIM tool removal paperwork. We have our fast charging brick. It says 30, so I'm assuming it's a 30 watt. And of course, we have USB Type-C as well. Alright, let's go ahead and peel this off here. And I know it has a 6.8 inch display, and this thing is big. It is definitely bigger than the G8 Plus and the G8 Power, and it looks really nice. It's got the more up-to-date trendy camera module. I really like this color. It has like a matte kind of finish on it, so you're not seeing a bunch of fingerprints at all really on here, and that's why I got it. It actually looks more brown, really, to me. It looks really nice. And you can kind of see the color right here in the camera module as well. Very, very nice. So we got our power button right here, which looks to be the fingerprint scanner as well. I absolutely love that. Volume rockers. We have what looks to be a Google Assistant button down here. Down below we have speaker, USB Type-C, and our headphone jack up top. Alright guys, so we're in the phone, and as you can see, big beautiful display. It's a 6.81 inch display. It's a 1080p panel, 386 for the PPI. It is HDR10, and it is massive. This is a big phone, way bigger than I was expecting it to be. And the display quality looks pretty good. As you can see, you do have a punch hole on this display, which is not a problem. I prefer this over the notch as well, and you can always just turn the device if you want it, up here or down there, so whichever way works. But overall, this is a really nice display. It's pretty bright as well and very vibrant and colorful, so no issues with this display at all. Alright guys, you are running a stock version of Android 10 on here basically, and it's been very smooth. You don't notice animation lags, and all of the gestures and everything is just super bouncy here, which is something that I really like. So just to check out the Moto application, so basically these are all of the gestures. If you go through them, you can see styles. You can go ahead and start customizing, and they've added some new things here actually, so I can customize the icons now. Oh, that's pretty cool. This wasn't on the G8. Also, there are live wallpapers on here, or kind of live, where it animates and moves. They only have one on here though, but that's pretty cool. Let's go back to that. Also, I can go ahead and customize the themes, colors. Oh, that's very cool. So there is a bit more of customization here. Layout, that's pretty cool. Oh, and then I can have presets for them as well. Oh, that's cool. And it's in a really nice UI too. I really like this. The setup is really nice. That's awesome. Alright, let's back out. Let's go to the gestures here. So these are the typical gestures that we have. The twist your wrist to open the camera. Boom. Fast works. Power touch, double tap the power key for quick shortcuts. So if I want to turn that on, and okay. So it would bring up these shortcuts right here, so you can see by default I have YouTube, the clock, all that stuff, settings. So I can go ahead and change and add what I want. So if I want to go ahead and add the camera right there, so now you see the camera. Boom, it's right there. And as you guys can see, my icons change. Probably have to change it back. Kind of don't like that one, but let's keep messing around with the Moto app here. They've done a really good job updating this. Where'd it go? Okay, let's back out. We have our flashlight. We just shake the device. We have flip for DMD, DND as well. Lift to unlock. Keep that off. Pick up to silence the phone. I like that one. Flip for do not disturb. And then we have the classic. Take a 3-finger screenshot. Boom. Very cool. So let's try. Boom. Very easy. So Motorola makes you know, just getting to stuff on this phone super easy. You can take advantage, especially with people with smaller hands. Being able to get to shortcuts and stuff like that is really cool. I really like that. Now you do have a couple options of getting into your phone. You have your fingerprint scanner on the side. You put your finger right there, it unlocks it. It's pretty fast. Also you have face unlock, so as you can see, boom, very fast as well. And you also have your pen, of course, that you can do. So all of that works as expected. And looks like we have a little button down here. This is the easy navigation. Oh, or it's just showing me how to navigate. We already know how to do all that. Alright guys, we do have one single firing speaker on here, so let's go ahead and check that out. This thing actually has a surprisingly loud amount of bass on here, which is pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting it to have that much bass. I think for a single firing speaker, this is actually pretty good, and there's a lot of depth to the sound. The mids and highs sound pretty good as well. So for a single firing speaker, I really like it. I'm surprised this thing actually has a ton of bass. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So let's talk about gaming on here. So you have the Snapdragon 730G, the Adreno 618, I just got killed. And you also have micro SD support along with 128 gigs of internal storage and 4 gigs of RAM. So you do have high graphics on here, or I can go high with the max FPS as well. Just leave it on very high. And as you can see, gaming on this display is beautiful since it's so big. And putting the punch hole down here, oh my god, putting the punch hole down here, you really don't even notice it when you're gaming. And I will put out a full gaming test for you guys that want to see more games. See how Call of Duty and PUBG, Fortnite run on this guy. But the display mixed with the speakers makes a great gaming experience so far. And you do have your toolbox right here, your game mode toolbox. Let me get out of the way. So you can turn off your notifications, take a screenshot, add an application right there that you want to get to really fast. Alright guys, let's talk about the cameras now. This is where Motorola is usually kind of weak on their budget phones compared to Xiaomi and Samsung budget phones. So you have a 64 megapixel wide and 8 megapixel ultra wide. You also have a 2 megapixel macro camera and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. It also shoots in 4K 30 FPS and a 16 megapixel selfie camera that shoots in 1080p. So I'll go ahead and show you the photos right here. So for the standard camera, it takes pretty good photos. I did not have an issue with it. Dynamic range, color is actually pretty nice. You get some punchy colors with this camera. But the problem is on the other lenses. With the ultra wide, you do get a much softer photo, less detailed photo as well, which is something that I noticed. Color is also a little bit different. And on the macro camera, it's actually pretty decent. You can get some close-up shots. That worked perfectly fine. I had no issues with it. The depth sensor is, again, a really nice sensor to have, and that works pretty well for portrait photos as well. You get a nice amount of detail, so I was happy with how that came out. The depth of field came out really nice. And the front-facing camera was also really nice as well. The colors were pretty good. Again, a little soft on the face, not a a large amount of detail, but again, you get a really good photo if you're in some good lighting. But do I think these are better than the budget Xiaomi and Samsung devices? No, it just falls in in the terms of detail. It's just lacking here. So, and that is also the same for video as well. As you can see, decent video, again lacking in detail a little bit, but again, if you're in good lighting, you can get some pretty good shots out of this phone, no problem. So overall for the cameras, it's okay, it's not terrible. Now let's talk about some additional features. You do have Bluetooth 5.0. You also have NFC. Of course, you have a 3.5mm headphone jack. This phone does not have any kind of splash resistant or water resistant rating on here. So we usually see that with most Motorola phones, at least a splash resistant. That is not listed on this phone. So we just don't have it on this one. So I wouldn't get this phone wet in the rain, stuff like that, just in case. But we have a 5,000 milliamp battery with 30-watt fast charging. That was a big thing for this phone. So I believe that's the same amount of fast charging as on my 7 Pro. So this charges extremely fast. You get the fast charging brick out of the box, which is something that I really like. So you will have all-day battery life on this phone. So this phone should get you around a day, full day, a day and a half of battery life, no problem. So that is one of the great things about this phone. So overall, this is a super solid phone. We're going to be doing some comparisons on this guy, comparing it to the G8 and some other budget phones, so I can show you guys the difference. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.